Hello Internet, Hewlett here with another Burn and Learn, a Monday morning Burn and Learn. It's so weird. You know, I weirdly look forward to Mondays because it's when I get, Monday is like the day that I for some reason can drag myself out of bed and do these things early and feel like I get a good start on the week. It all falls apart from there, but that Monday morning get up for some reason I find very, well, painful, but very satisfying. So Burn and Learn, for those of you who don't know, is my bid to stay alive and well long enough to raise my amazing son and enjoy the twilight years with my beautiful, brilliant wife, Jane. Hate exercise, it's boring, so I like to learn something, and then while I'm learning something, after I've learned something while I've been exercising, I then try to share it with you in the sweatiest way possible. So that's what I'm doing here today. And today I was back to Mind for Numbers. I had just a miserable argument with Bratlet this weekend about homework and stuff, and realized that I was going to have to spend more time focusing on this, because without that direct input from parents, it's just not getting done. And I understand that feeling from a kid's perspective. I remember my parents coming down on me pretty hard and be thinking like, what is the point of all this? And I really don't want him to get into that horrid cycle of like sort of resentment and punishment and all this kind of stuff. And it's been proven over and over again that, you know, you shut down the learning part of your brain when you feel like you're being threatened, and punishments and harsh words are not going to help that. So we got to figure out a way to get him interested. And the fact of the matter is, it seems to just come down to time, and patience, obviously, something I'm not very good at, but I'm learning patience while he's learning math. It's actually not the math that's the problem, it's the writing. And he's written this amazing, really fun story that I mean, again, it was like, I think I said it was akin to trying to bathe an aquaphobic cat. It's just like being, just those claws are out and going crazy trying not to do this stuff. But when he actually does it, it's amazing, as I'm sure is the case with any kid. I saw a couple of TED Talks, one of which I literally sobbing about how what a beautiful idea this was, about the idea of these hole-in-the-wall computers. A computer programmer who was training kids in India and wondering why all of his rich clients' kids were gifted and, you know, extraordinary, and there was a whole slum beside him of kids that he wondered why none of those were gifted. So he started leaving computers for them to play with on his side of the slum wall, and just this extraordinary adventure he went on with that these kids were self-teaching themselves English in order to use the computer that only worked in English. It's sort of amusing and lovely, and I will put a link to it below because it's extraordinary. I'll put it in, no, you know what I'll do? I'll put it in my playlist. That's my playlist for today. So there's that, and this other amazing guy who invented the CAPTCHA, but don't hold that against him because he's got a brilliant idea for how to translate the web. So there's a couple of things to look at. Mind for Numbers is all about, it's kind of interesting because it sort of crossed my worlds here into the realm of, they say you've got to make this stuff interesting, and you've got to write stories and plays about the concepts you're trying to learn. Like, you know, as an atom, how would you feel when an electron is pulled from you or knocked from you? And it just, this sort of interesting way of trying to get yourself to learn about stuff in a sort of a big wider picture than trying to just focus on specifically answering questions. So I suddenly went, oh, it'd be kind of fun to do. Imagine doing a fringe play that was all about, you know, the elements or something. So anyways, again, it's one of the things that they talk about, which I definitely see in myself, is this need to embrace the imperfections in the way you learn and your own life and stuff. And I bounce around a lot. I find it very difficult to focus, as I'm sure Bratlet does as well. But the advantage of that is that you make these weird connections with things. You transfer the knowledge that you've got from one area to another and come up with sort of sometimes some interesting little sort of thought puzzles, and sometimes things that you actually want to do. So there you have it. That's my Burn and Learn for a Monday. I'm going to go get a much needed cup of tea now. So until we geek again, sweaty or not, here.com. Cheerio!